I'm a freshman in college, and before college I was homeschooled, basically my whole life. Because of that, I have pretty bad social anxiety. Regardless of that, I was really excited to go to college and finally have freedom, apart from the global issue safety measures. My parents really didn't want me to go and threw a huge fit about it, since they think I only want to go to sleep around and drink. Every time I spoke to them while I was away, they would try to get me to come back home, so I stopped answering their calls as often, which really annoyed my mom. I went from talking to my parents multiple times a day to around once a week, though I would still speak with my siblings. They were literally obsessed with the idea of me leaving their home and becoming a wild, which was odd since they'd never been like that before. They have this idea that I'm a good girl gone wild. They used to let me have co-ed sleepovers and hang out with guys whenever I wanted. Anyways, I was talking to my little sister, and she told me about this bet that my family has made. I guess in retaliation for me not answering their calls, they were betting if I'd become a promiscuous girl in college. They were speculating on when I'd lose my virginity, how many guys I'd sleep with, if I'd sleep with a girl, etc. She sent me a few screenshots, and it seemed almost like a big passive-aggressive joke. It wasn't just my parents in it. It had my siblings, cousins, and aunts. While they were seemingly kidding, I felt extremely embarrassed. I didn't know how to bring it up because I didn't want my sister to get in trouble for showing me, so it went on for a while. I finally texted my mom about it and asked if she would please delete the chat or at least add me to it so it wasn't just my family talking and clowning me behind my back. I didn't mention that it was my sister who had shown me. My mother insisted that they weren't talking about me and that I was being a prima donna, even though I literally have evidence. Since it was obvious that they weren't going to delete it, I told my mom that I wasn't going to come home for Christmas and I wasn't going to come visit her after her surgery. She's having surgery soon and asked me to come, partially out of anger and because of embarrassment. Christmas is my mom's favorite holiday, and she always goes all out for it. She wanted me to be her caretaker after the surgery, since after Christmas, her money will be tight and she didn't want to pay for one. She says that I'm abandoning her, and I think that she stabbed me in the back. Am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. They would all be getting Christmas cards from me with their chats printed in them. Then wish them a Merry Christmas and a happy life. Personally sign each one and add a PS that if they ever want to get in contact with you again, you will be open to apologies after some time away from them. Not the idiot. Wow. Their little betting pool is one of the most disgusting things I've ever read about. I can't imagine talking about my own child that way. This sounds really nuts. Who does that? Did not a single person in the family object to this line of texting amongst themselves? Your family is so far out of line. This is indecent. Don't go home for Christmas. Their behavior is reprehensible. Not the idiot. Your intimate life is really none of their business. Your mom calling you a prima donna when you called her out says she cares more about her joke than your feelings. I'm sorry, your family is a bunch of idiots. I'm curious, are you the first of your family to go to college? It almost sounds like they're jealous or resent your decision to go, so they're disparaging you in the only way they can think of. I'm the first female to go. We're Middle Eastern, Christian, and more suburban USA. My mom got pregnant when she was a teen, so she constantly projects. You're the first woman in your family to go to college, demonstrating independence, determination, and intelligence. So your family's response to this is to gossip about some imaginary intimate life you must be having and demand you come home and give up your life to be an unpaid caretaker for your mother. Your mother doesn't want you to help take care of her after surgery. Your mother wants to try to trap you and force you to drop out of college. Stand your ground and absolutely do not go home. This private chat reveals their true thoughts. Please, OP, talk to your sister. Tell her that even after this, you don't regret going to college, because your parents are going to try to brainwash your little sister so she won't go to college, like all the women in your family. I'm sorry you've had to deal with their hateful attitude. Please don't let them bring you down. You're doing amazing, and you should be proud of yourself. I, 24 male, visited my dad for the weekend, or what was supposed to be for the weekend. Whenever I go somewhere for a short time, I pack enough clothes so I don't have to do laundry till I get home. Saturday I went fishing with my dad and wore cargo pants. I left a pair of jeans on the bed, and they had 70 bucks in the pocket. Well, when we got back, my jeans were gone. After looking around for a while, I asked if my dad had seen them. He said no, and I figured their cat didn't borrow them, so I asked my stepmom. She said she was doing laundry and noticed that they were on the bed, so she threw them in. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. The money slipped my mind. Well, when I put the jeans on that night when we were going to dinner, I remembered the money and panicked, thinking it had gone through the wash. All the pockets were empty. So I said, hey, stepmom, didn't I have some money in my pocket? She said, yeah, but you know the rules. When you leave money in your pants, the person washing gets to keep it. That was the rule when I was a kid. I said, yeah, but I didn't ask you to wash them. She said, and you didn't even remember the money till hours later. And I'm irresponsible for leaving pants with money in the pockets laying around. She gave me the money back and reminded me to be more responsible. During this whole interaction, I kept looking at my dad, who just stood there. So I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to head home. I left and got back home at 10 p.m. Saturday. My dad had called and left a message while I was driving and said that stepmom was just trying to be nice, and she was just reminding me not to leave things lying around, that I didn't need to throw a temper tantrum and leave. My thing is, my jeans are in the guest room, folded on the bed because I was wearing them there Friday. So she decided to be nice and wash them, but then chose to withhold my money to teach me a lesson? I wouldn't have left the money there if I didn't feel she was trustworthy, and after that, I just wouldn't have been able to enjoy myself. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She stole from you, and just giving it back isn't acceptable. Tell your dad you won't be visiting or talking to him again until he gets his wife to acknowledge that she wronged you. Spoiler alert, you're going to be waiting a while. Not the idiot. She wasn't nice as she was snooping and then being a jerk. She did not need to wash your jeans to begin with, then chose to treat you like a child. But it was a power play to ensure that you knew who was in charge in her house. She graciously gave you your money back after being called out on it, so she could appear to be nice. But in reality, she was playing a game with you. Not a nice, pleasant, funny ha-ha game, but a manipulative control crap. Good for you for putting in action a boundary. If your dad wants you to visit, you show that you are not above just cutting the visit when she shows her true colors. Not the idiot. They invaded your privacy and treated you like a child, and are gaslighting you, and still attempting to treat you like a child by saying you threw a temper tantrum, when in reality, all you did was get a bit upset for the way they behaved and decided to leave. You didn't even make a scene or yell at them or said anything rude. Also, what would have happened if you hadn't asked about your money? Would she have kept it? That's stealing 70 bucks directly from your pocket. Choosing to do something nice for somebody else when they didn't ask for it or needed it, and including stipulations that allow you to steal money from them, is a really weird way to approach any situation. This happened hours ago. I'm currently working out of town while my fiance is getting ready for our wedding next month. She just bought her wedding dress, which cost $2,100, and sent me pictures of it, despite me feeling unsure about seeing it, and here's why. I'm the brutally honest type, and I don't feel comfortable lying. I've lost people because of it. I don't know, could be them getting too offended, and got called names such as insensitive, jerk, obnoxious, cruel, and so on and so on. Once I saw the dress, I immediately thought it was not nice. Like it's just not nice at all. I don't know what she was thinking, honestly. It's just ugly. My fiance asked me to get back to her and tell her my opinion about it next time I call her. She's really careful about when to talk to me because she doesn't want to interrupt my work. Like I said, I'm an honest, straightforward type of guy who tells it as it is. And honestly, the dress is ugly. I'm struggling to lie to my fiance. Besides, it really shows on my face because literally, I'm a bad liar. But at the same time, my fiance seemed so happy with her dress that she spent a lot of money on. So I'm feeling hesitant to tell her my opinion, although she wants me to give her the truth and is waiting on my reply. I texted a guy friend and he said I was an idiot for even entertaining the idea of telling her my true opinion and still dragging and dropping this decision in my head. He told me to flat out say I didn't like it, but I loved it, and then shut up and move on. But I'm not even sure if I managed to lie to her. I might crack and tell her my real opinion the next time I see the dress, which is at the wedding. not willing to take that risk. My teenage sister said I should just go ahead and tell my wife the truth about how I see her dress. She told me not to start my marriage with a lie, since my wife will find out my real opinion eventually. Am I the idiot for wanting to tell her? Idiot? The motto of idiots across the land. You can't be mad. I'm just telling it like it is. You're clearly too sensitive. Love how you're more ready to assume multiple people just got offended too easily, rather than you're just being an insensitive / a jerk / obnoxious / cruel / an idiot. Your fiance bought a dress that she liked, and whether or not you're a fan of the style, I'm sure you'll think she'll look beautiful while wearing it, so you can just say that. If you were being taken by surprise, an instant reaction would be hard to hide, but you know what to expect, so manage your responses. You are the idiot. Try being less of one. Right? He even says that his fiance seems really happy. He could honestly say, "I love you. I'm so glad you found a dress that makes you happy. I can't wait to see you smiling at me walking down the aisle." Unless he doesn't rake her happiness over the aesthetics of the dress, in which case he should be brutally honest with himself and not marry this person. Good Lord, just imagine how he would crush any future kids. "Daddy, do you like my drawing of me, you, and mommy?" "Oh God, this is atrocious. This is supposed to be a family picture? You need to stop doing art because you are not good at it." Also, why would his teenage sister need to sit down with him and his wife to mediate this? Tell her the truth. Show her who you are and let the chips fall where they may. If this is the marriage she's doomed to enter, you definitely want to go ahead and tell her before she has her first kid, and you tell her, "Wow, your body is awful now, and I'm not attracted to you in any way." Or, "This meal you cooked is terrible." Or likely, "My coworker is so much hotter than you." You are the idiot, but tell her so she can bail before it's too late. I have a little son. Until recently, his dad was not involved at all and didn't contribute financially. When I told him I was pregnant, he accused me of lying, and then when I took a test in front of him to prove I wasn't lying, he claimed it couldn't be his child, and I was trying to trap and manipulate him. So we went our separate ways, and I've been raising my son with the help of my family until his sister reached out to me on social media to tell me my son looked exactly like my ex did at that age. Then suddenly, he and his family wanted to meet my son and make up for the lost time. One thing my ex has done that he didn't need to do was give me an eye-watering amount of child support for the years he's missed. My parents were saving towards buying their first house when I found out I was pregnant. My financial situation was very bad during the first 2 years of my son's life, and I don't know how we would have survived if my parents hadn't helped me. But it meant that their dream of owning their home was no longer a reality. So when my ex gave me the money, I gave some of it to my parents to buy their house, which they did. A few days ago, my ex was visiting our son. He told me he thought I should move closer to him because the area was better and so were the schools. I told him I couldn't because the area was way too expensive and I didn't have the money. He pointed out that I could use the child support to move and that he would help with the cost. I didn't want to tell him about helping my parents, but he kept going on and on about moving closer to him. So I finally snapped and told him I didn't have all the money he gave me anymore. He made a joke about how I couldn't have spent it that fast, but he realized I wasn't joking and asked me what I did with the money. I told him the truth and he wasn't happy at all. We had a fight over it, where I told him if he hadn't been such a deadbeat, none of this would have happened. And he said I had stolen from our son. Now he keeps saying that I was right and we should let the lawyers handle everything from now on, instead of him trying to be nice. So, am I the idiot? Oh, so he was meant to be able to control you with that money, and you messed up his plans. How rude of you. Not the idiot. As others have pointed out, if he wasn't around for the first 4 years, he doesn't now get to complain because you gave some of the money to the people who stopped his now magically precious son from starving. Not the idiot. Please don't move away from your parents. Your ex had proven to be untrustworthy, and right now was trying to gaslight you by making you feel guilty for supporting your parents with the money he gave towards the 4 years he ignored his child when they were your only support. Let the lawyers handle everything, but appoint your own lawyer. He might try to get full custody of your child in the courts by proving that you are untrustworthy of handling money. Do not trust your ex. Appoint your own lawyer. Yep, the ex is an idiot. But when he said to let the lawyers handle it, I thought, well, he's right about one thing. OP, this is good advice. Get your own lawyer. Even if it's expensive, it's going to be so worth it to have a formal agreement bound by the court rather than depending on your ex's conditional paternal instincts. The way I see it is your parents paid child support in the absence of your ex. So when he did pay, you just paid your parents back. So it really isn't that complicated. So we are all in our early 20s. I've had this group of friends since high school, and one of them has been my best friend since we both were kids. All the friends are women. 6 months ago, I got a boyfriend. It's a guy I've known for a couple of years, and we just got closer now and started dating. I had a crush on him since I first met him, and all my friends knew and encouraged me to make a move, although I was shy. My best friend would always make moves to him on my behalf, but I told her to stop because I felt uncomfortable. Anyway, long story short, I'm with that guy now, and we're very happy and still getting to know each other. After the first month of our relationship, I noticed my best friend always fishing info about him, always commenting hearts and heart eyes on his Instagram pics, and reacting to his Instagram stories by commenting and stuff like that. My boyfriend showed me all of this because he found it weird since he's not close with my best friend. I talked to her about it, and she said it's not that serious, and that's how she talks to most people. So I dropped it and never spoke of it again, since that is how she talks most of the time. This kept going for 3 to 4 months, until last month, I noticed she took me out of her close friend list and put my boyfriend, and she'd post half-naked pics there. She'd also text my boyfriend late at night, asking if I'm sleeping and stuff like that. It kept going, and my boyfriend was telling me what was happening because he felt uncomfortable. I said I'd handle it. A few days ago, the camel's back broke when my girlfriend called my boyfriend and told him to meet up, just the two of them. He said no, and she insisted that he'll regret not giving a chance to her because she's the ideal woman for him. I was next to him when the chat was happening, and he told her I'm not there. He then gave me his phone to talk to my friend and make it known that I know everything. I talked to her, and I told her I'm going to her place so we can talk about what happened. She hung up. I went to her house and confronted her, and she was crying and apologizing and claiming she did this to test my boyfriend's loyalty. I didn't buy it and told her that it would still be a crappy thing to do behind my back. I told her I didn't want any contact with her after that and left. The rest of my friends are now calling me names for choosing a boy over my best friend and how I broke the girl code. My boyfriend did nothing wrong. I don't know why I should be mad at him for stuff my best friend did. They also claimed that even if my boyfriend got with my girlfriend, she's still my girlfriend, and boys are insignificant either way. I don't know whether I should give her a chance or not. You didn't break girl code, your friend did. I think you and your boyfriend both did the right thing. Your friends sound immature, and they definitely don't seem loyal. It may hurt now, but you don't need friends like that. Besides, if someone is behaving badly like that, it's probably going to blow up no matter what anyway. Screw that. I can understand if you thought he might be cheating, but her testing his loyalty behind your back is a stupid excuse. Do the rest of your friends have the full story, or have they mostly just heard her side? Either way, if I was in the same situation, I would have reacted the same way. You're not overreacting, and you never broke a girl code, especially if she was trying to get with him.